In today's fast-paced world, taking care of your health shouldn't be a hassle. Introducing DCC Health System app that brings healthcare services right to your doorstep. At the touch of a button, you get a range of healthcare services for yourself and loved ones, anywhere, anytime. You can schedule consultations, order medications, request doctor home visits, and even arrange for physiotherapy and laboratory services. To start enjoying your healthiest life, install the DCC Health app from Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Register as a member. Verify your membership. Select the service that you need and provide the required details. Proceed to checkout and then make payments securely within the app. Once your payment is confirmed, your healthcare services will be scheduled and provided at your specified location and time. Download the DCC Health System app today and start taking control of your health.
رمضان ده حياتي شمعة لمماتي يا رب دعاتي تقبلها عطول رمضان ده رحمة من ربنا نعمة بيحل حياتنا ويفرشها
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome our viewers to this show, A Healthy Ramadan. We are going to talk about how to make your Ramadan to be healthy. Allah has bestowed upon us health so that we can be able to benefit from it. It is a great blessing from Him, and I'm your host Habiba Ibrahim. I'm a nutritionist and dietitian, and I am with my co-host Sakina Omar. Welcome, Sakina.
Thank you, Habiba. In this show, we'll be discussing about food and nutrition, do's and don'ts during Ramadan, best food to take during iftar and suhoor, and also nutrition and diseases. You can join our conversation through our social media, that is ILMTV, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
Thank you, Sakina. First of all, I'm sure people are wondering who is a nutritionist and what is nutrition. So we are going first to define who is a nutritionist and what is nutrition.
A nutritionist is someone who advises people on diet and how the diet helps in building their health. And when you come to define nutrition, you'll define it as the process of providing and obtaining food necessary for health and growth. You can also say that nutrition is food and nourishment. Food is what we take, as in what we eat, and nourishment is how the food we eat helps in our body. We can also say that apart from nutrition also caters for the intake, as in after you put food on the table, the way we eat it, the way it's taken into our body, the way it's broken down, and also when you excrete the food that remains in the body, how is it used to build our body? Thank you.
So we have this type of nutrients. We have been hearing about nutrition. So the nutrition is derived from the word nutrients. We start with the definition of nutrients. Nutrients are those molecules found in food that all organisms need in order to give out energy, to grow and to reproduce. So in these types of nutrients, we have two main groups of nutrients, the macronutrients and the micronutrients. We need first to understand what are these macronutrients and micronutrients, so that when you come inside Ramadan, we tell you, when we are telling you about eat this type of macronutrients, eat this type of carbohydrates, protein or fat, you will be able to understand what we are talking about. Now, first of all, we are going to start with the macronutrients. Can you enlighten us on this type of macronutrients?
Okay, macronutrients are divided into three. We have carbohydrates, proteins, and fat. To start with carbohydrates, carbohydrates are largely consumed in our community. And examples of carbohydrates, they include rice, chapati, rice chapati, ugali,
potatoes.
anjera, potatoes, porridge. You can do a porridge with millet, wheat, sorghum. We can do a sorghum. We also have pastas and so on. Carbohydrates, they are usually used to give us energy. Most of the carbohydrates are eaten to give us energy. Abiba will continue from there.
So carbohydrates are basically the food that we eat mostly, almost every day, every meal in large quantities. Mostly they are white in color. We say the white carbohydrates, like the rice, the pasta, the potatoes, all of these are types of carbohydrates that we include in our diet. Now, carbohydrates are known as energy-giving food, like Sakina said. So it provides instantly the starches. Carbohydrates are broken down, they give us glucose, which goes directly into our bloodstream and give us energy. Now, we are going to look at the two types of these carbohydrates. There are simple and complex carbohydrates.
Okay, to start with simple carbohydrates, carbohydrates include sweets, cakes, soda, anything to do with sweet drinks. And complex carbohydrates includes the main foods like rice, ugali, potatoes, anjera, chapati, and so on. Simple carbohydrates are digested easily. So when you take them immediately, they are absorbed and used in the body. But complex carbohydrates, they take longer to get digested and absorbed in the body.
So in short, we are supposed to be taking more of the complex carbohydrates than the simple carbohydrates in order to balance out the energy that you are receiving from them.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
That's
thank
what we're supposed to keep on mind, that complex carbohydrates stay longer. So it's advisable we take more of complex carbohydrates than simple carbohydrates.
Okay. Now the next macronutrient is protein. These proteins, there are two types. We can get it from animal or from plant proteins. Now the plant proteins are the ones like beans, the legumes, the cereals. And then the animal proteins, they're the ones which we get from maybe cattle, we get from goat meat, we get from fish, from poultry, from eggs, milk. These are the two types of proteins. When proteins are broken down, they are broken down into amino acids. These amino acids are also in two types which are good for our health. There are essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. These essential amino acids are the ones we are supposed to get from food. That's why in our diet we need to include these two types of protein. Then non-essential amino acids, they are the ones which are produced by our own bodies. You don't necessarily have to get them from food. Your body already produces them. Now these essential amino acids, there are 9 types which are required to get from the food. Mostly they are abundant in the animal protein than in the plant protein. So if you are eating only, you are a vegetarian, you don't want to eat any animal protein, you are required to eat a wide variety of the plant proteins. Then non-essential amino acid, you get it naturally from our bodies.
Okay, to add on what Habiba said about protein are very essential because they help us in building our body. Most of the proteins are used to build our body. That's why when we are little, we are advised to take more of protein. We are advised to take more of protein so that we grow healthy.
So they are also known as bodybuilding foods that help in building our muscles. So when you want a child to grow, you give him or her a wide variety of these proteins so that he or she can be healthy and well. The fats, which you get from plants mostly in cooking. So now we are supposed to be using more of oils than fats because oils are healthier than fats. Yes.
Yeah, to add on that, the good oils are naturally produced. We can say olive oil, coconut oil, oils that are produced through nuts. They are very essential and important.
Okay. Now we are going to ask, we are going through micronutrients. We say we had two categories of these nutrients, the macro and the micronutrients. Now, what are these micronutrients?
Micronutrients are vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals, we'll usually get them from vegetables and fruits. These are the main group for micronutrients.
Okay. The health benefits of vegetables and fruits is that it provides us with vitamins that we can use it in our body, and also it gives us immunity against diseases. And then the vegetables, we have a wide variety of vegetables. Mashallah, in this country, we have the kienyeji vegetables, that's the indigenous vegetables, and the ones which have been there since long time ago. People in Kenya are used to eating them, like the managu, the sukuma wiki, all of that are part of green leafy vegetables. Then we have the cruciferous vegetables like the broccoli, the cauliflower, all of that. We have started with what is nutrition and the types of nutrients. We have discussed about the macronutrients and the micronutrients. We have also discussed about how you're supposed to have your plate during Ramadan. We have also said about what is the most, the portions that you're supposed to have on your plate during Ramadan. After the break, we are going to take you through how fasting affects the body and the benefits of fasting.
Peace begins with a smile. At the Salaam High School, we believe that a better future lies where students can learn themselves and be happy with each other. At the Salaam High School, academic subjects and extracurricular activities complement each other to develop socially and spiritually skilled, healthier students. The school offers both 844 and IGCSE curriculum and has modern ICT and science laboratories that give students the opportunity to understand theories and concepts by performing scientific experiments on their own. They enjoy a full Islamic environment at the Masjid every day. At Salaam, we nurture well-balanced boys who will be ambassadors for Islam and its high moral values. The Salaam High School, excellence in education within a cultivating, caring and secure Islamic environment.
Welcome back to the show. We had discussed earlier about nutrition and the nutrients that are contained in nutrition. If you are not with us in the first episode, you can get us through our social media, that is ILMTV, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. So welcome back, and we'll continue.
So our next topic is, how does fasting affect our body? We know that for the last 11 months we have been eating continuously, and then all of a sudden in this month we are introducing a new thing to our body. We are fasting. Now, how does this affect our body? Fasting for 12 hours or more, depending on the place that you are, really affects the way our body is functioning. First of all, you start feeling hungry, you'll feel dehydrated, some people feel dizzy. Now fasting during this time of Ramadan, in the first few days, it's really hard for us because our body needs to adapt to the new environment. How do you feel in your first day of fasting?
Okay, my first day of fasting, especially when the heat is high, you might feel so dehydrated and some headache, some dizziness.
You feel tired?
Tired, yeah.
Okay.
But we usually cope with it. because our body naturally, Allah has made our body naturally to produce other food inside our body.
Okay. So we said the main type of nutrient that gives us energy throughout the day is carbohydrate.
Yes.
Now, if you have eaten the last meal at suhoor. Now, maybe it has reached around 4 p.m. Now you start depleting that carbohydrate from your body. You start feeling weak, you start feeling fatigued if you are dehydrated, because the body cannot store water. The kidneys try its best at storing water, but it cannot keep much water because you are losing it through the sweat, through your breath, you are also through the skin, you are losing a lot of water. Now, during this time, you should try as much as possible to minimize on your activities so that you can preserve the little energy that is left in you. So if our carbohydrate is depleted, what does our body use to give us energy?
Like we said before, carbohydrates are broken down into glucose. So when they're broken down into glucose, some of the glucose is used and another one is stored.
Yeah.
So during Ramadan, during the fasting, the energy which has been stored in our body is usually used. So you might find that you still have some energy that you get. And also, like Abiba has said, you have to reduce the activities that you are doing. You don't do heavy things. And also, being active will really help you to, being active and busy will really help you to pass time, and you won't realize that you're losing energy.
Okay. So during the first session, we said about fats also give us energy. Do these fats, after we are depleted our carbohydrates, are we going to break down our fats in order to give us energy?
Okay. Yeah. After carbohydrate store is depleted, we can also use our fat. We have fats that are stored in the body, and like we said, a lot of fat is stored in the body. That's why we are required to consume a little amount. So the fat that's stored in the body, it's broken down into glycerol and fatty acid. So the glycerol will be used after 24 hours of fasting. And since we are fasting less than those 24 hours, it means that the whole day we have fat.
During iftar, we should rehydrate ourselves after a long